There is a clear power in Milan right now, and it's not the defending Serie A champions. In 3 attempts, Milan have lost to Inter 3 times in 2023, and they haven't even scored a goal against them. Hey, I'm Adrian. Welcome back to Rabona TV. Another match day, another video to quickly run through this Inter vs AC Milan match. Man, not a lot to talk about if you are an AC Milan supporter, as things were looking grim out there. Shall we jump straight in though? If you're new, be sure to subscribe. We typically have some long form explainer videos coming out towards the end of the week where we go deep on the editing and the research and everything. But I'm deep in production for another video for next week, so that won't happen this Friday. Next Friday though, route to the rivalry. So perhaps the biggest news of the day for Milan was that Rafael Leao was not in fact fit for this match. And boy, could you ever tell just how blunt their attack is without him out there. I mean, we knew this already. We went over it in the preview for the semifinals, but man, seeing how Milan's attack just could not get up for it live before your eyes, it was brutal. For Inter, I think the first questions people would have had would have been Dzeko starting ahead of Lukaku, given how Lukaku and Lautaro are seemingly finding their chemistry again. And some thought Mkhitaryan starting was weird, but hey man, both players proved their worth on the day, didn't they? So yes, no Rafael Leao in the attack was definitely felt for Milan, but there was no excuse for their poor defending. I get it. Bennacer went off injured early, but there was absolutely zero coverage from the midfield for the back line, and that's simply an organizational thing from Pioli. Now, you also have to give great credit to Inter because you could see the automations in their attack. You could see that there were training ground moves being put into place. The third man runs off of the ball, running onto it before the defenders could even react. It was really impressive from Inter in transition. But it was definitely aided by an absolute disaster class defensively from Milan, where Calabria was out of sorts and out of position at times, where Teos runs up the pitch, left a lot of room on the right, and as mentioned, with Bennacer going off, Tonali and Krunic were not doing enough defensively to cover that back line. The outcome, 2 goals in 3 minutes from Inter. The first, for me, was inexcusable defending from Calabria during a set piece. AC Milan have struggled with their defending of set pieces at random points throughout the season. That was certainly aided with the return of Mike Maignan and the organization that he brings to their defense, the confidence he brings. Tomori and Kjaer returning, etc. But on this occasion, it was one of the easiest goals Dzeko will score. In my opinion, there is no world where a striker should be able to side foot the ball into the net from about 7 yards out during a set piece. When that's happening, when guys are volleying in from close range from a corner kick, there's something majorly wrong with your defending. And again, I'm not discrediting Inter here, as Dzeko showed great strength and his finishing was composed as well. Solid from him. And then you had the second goal just 3 minutes later, and this one was a disaster from Milan for a few reasons. First of all, well done from Barella to control the ball before playing a clever ball into space for DiMarco to run onto. But this is when the defensive clown show kicked in, and Milan started to look like that same Milan from January, where they were losing for fun. First of all, and I'll go less hard on him here, but you have Kjaer being indecisive as to whether he should track Lautaro or Mkhitaryan, who was making a run in late. Instead, he marks neither of them. He's caught in between. Why? I don't know. I would assume it was because he figured Sandro Tonali, 23 years old, would have tracked the run of Mkhitaryan, who was 11 years his senior at 34. Look at them in this image, side by side. And then here, the Armenian blows by Tonali, takes a touch that I think Teo could have closed down, but he slipped. And then Mkhitaryan finished past Maignan. 2-0 just like that. And it felt like it could have been a rout at that time. AC Milan continued to show very little signs of life in the first half. They had possession, but they did very little with it. And part of that is, yes, no Leão, I know, but also the staunch defending from Inter, who didn't allow a single shot on target in the first half. In the second, Milan started to look better going forward. You had that moment when Tonali hit the post, and they actually forced Onana into a couple of saves in there. But beyond the strike that hit the post, I think it's fair to say that Inter weren't really troubled too much by AC Milan's attack. Acerbi, Bastoni was incredible. Darmian, he's filled in well as a right center back. And I mean, it also helps when you have Junior Messias in a position such as this, opening up his body to hit it with his favored left and failing to even hit the goal. That was poor, and a good depiction of how Milan were attacking on the day. When you can't attack, you can't really defend, or at least you had a spell when you couldn't, and your midfield is getting bossed by Inter's trio of Çalhanoğlu, Mkhitaryan, and Barella. I think it's fair to say that Inter dominated all over the pitch. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, but another one of the big omissions in the starting 11 was Marcelo Brozovic for Inter. Some would call him Inter's best midfielder, who isn't named Nicolo Barella. And I would tend to agree. I'm a Barella guy myself, but I absolutely see the brilliance of Brozovic as well and how he's integral to their midfield. So, 2-0, Milan with a massive hill to climb next Tuesday, and as I spoke of in the intro, Inter Milan beat AC Milan for the third time in 2023 alone. They beat them 3-0 in the Supercoppa Italiana in January, they beat them 1-0 in the Serie A in February, and now they beat them 2-0 in the Champions League. A ton of credit has to go to Inzaghi, who in March and early April, I was thinking, oh boy, these guys have shot up to 11 losses in the league. They're looking shaky under Limone. Man, have they rallied. I do feel for Pioli, however, as when you look at the squad depth of the respective teams, there isn't much comparison. Without Leon available, they bring on Macias, Chao, who was actually great when he came on. Perhaps he should be starting. Origi, Pobega, and Kalulu. The latter two to just stop the bleeding, I think. Then you look at Inter subs with Brozovic coming on, Lukaku coming on, Stefan De Vrij, and the less inspiring Correa, and the living meme amongst Inter supporters, Gagliardini. Matt Gagliardini was in a great position to strike a goal at one point, and he took another touch and lost the ball. Whistle went shortly after, but still, I mean, it sums him up a little bit, doesn't it? Anyway, anything can happen in this sport, in this competition, in a derby, but AC Milan have a lot to do. Who knows? With Rafael Leao back, perhaps they have a chance. In fact, with the way he played against Napoli lately, they do indeed have a chance, but it's going to be very tough against these cup specialists that defend so well, isn't it? So the first legs are wrapped up. On the one side, it was a stalemate, basically a reset and winner takes all scenario over in Manchester next Wednesday. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, we're back in the same city, same stadium with an uphill battle on AC Milan's hands. Should be another fun week in the Champions League. Guys, once again, thanks for watching and spending your precious time with us here. My name is Adrian, and this is Rabona TV. We'll see you in the next video. Ciao.